Hey all, as always, coming in around this time of day, going to give you some information which I think is really going to wind up helping you. But as always, I wait for the audience to build a bit. I'll catch on in a second here, I'm hoping. Hope you guys are having a great day. And again, before I get going, I just want to say thank you for all the shares and pushing these videos around. At some point, I think maybe tomorrow we'll do it. I'll have somebody on my team post all of the emails I get from people who are undecided voters who are getting these emails for the first time and saying that based on the information that I'm giving and you're sharing, that they are actually jumping onto the Trump train, that they have been undecided for a while, and that after getting some of the facts and the insights that I'm giving, which it's a years and years and years of making films and doing the news and hosting my show and investigating all this stuff when I was exploring. So all of that stuff combined gives me this good knowledge that I'm sharing with you. And when you are sharing it with people, believe me when I tell you, it is making an impact. I had one guy yesterday when we talked about the refugees trying to tell me I was wrong. And then after we got into a conversation back and forth, he said that I was right. And he wound up catching on to all the information I had given was factual and it wasn't based on hate. It was based on economics. So today I want to talk to you about George Soros, Megyn Kelly, and Bill O'Reilly, those three. Start with George Soros. On my website at DennisMichaelLynch.com, the first story, and we're going to keep it up there like that for the next day, there is a petition. There is a petition for you to sign on the White House's website. It is to try to stop states from using these voting machines that are tied back to George Soros. Now, how do they tie back? There is a company called Smartmatic, and the chairman of that company is a former chairman at the UN. And he is, he is the chairman and he is a former UN official. My apologies. He is also, I'm trying to remember this stuff, he is on the board of George Soros's Open Society Foundation. Sorry, I'm a little sleep deprived today. This guy, his name's Mark Malik Brown. That's it, Mark Malik Brown. Okay, and so he's tied to George Soros. This guy's machines, his machines, are in 16 different U.S. states. Some of them swing states: Arizona, Colorado. In fact, I have it here. Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Virginia, California, Illinois, Louisiana, Missouri, New Jersey, Oregon, Washington State, Wisconsin, and the District of Columbia. That's where these machines are. Now, there's absolutely no reason why we need to be getting machines, voting machines, from the UK. Why? And certainly, I don't think it's fair, nor do I think it's practical, for us to be using machines that are tied back to George Soros. George Soros, for those of you who do not know, has given billions, that's with a B, billions of dollars to left-wing radical groups like Black Lives Matter and Media Matters and a host of others. And he gives money in many cases indirectly. This guy will give to one organization, that gives to another organization, that gives to another organization. He hides all this stuff to try to disguise it. But ultimately, it all comes to the surface and it all comes back to him, just like at the Trump rallies. All these people are funded and it always goes back to Soros. He has also donated millions of dollars to Hillary Clinton. And this guy is a complete open borders advocate. He does not believe that there should be a border anywhere in this world, that no matter where you want to go, you should be able to go. So if somebody who's an ISIS member wants to come to the U.S., he or she should just be able to come in, and that's what he wants. Now, he has been funding, nobody even covers this kind of stuff, but he has been funding candidates, a lot of them on the legal end, whether it be judges or prosecutors, and all of his candidates, with the exception of one across the country, they're winning their elections over the course of time. This guy is trying to get his claws inside our courts. So he is very, 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 very cunning. He is very, very uber rich, one of the most richest men in the world. And Hillary Clinton at this point answers to this guy because of the amount of money that he has given her. So you have to sign this petition. I don't know where it goes and what it will do, but as of right now, it was a couple of thousand votes short, names short of hitting the 100,000 mark, which any petition on the White House needs to get in order for it to be considered. I think we have a big enough crowd here to where I'm looking at it right now. What do we got? About 4,000 consecutive people here. By the time we're done, this thing will wind up reaching a couple of 100,000 people, at least, if not over 500,000. We can get those numbers way over 100,000, and let's make some noise with this. All right. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Bill O'Reilly. I don't know how many of you watched the O'Reilly Factor. I really don't watch it all that much. I do now that I don't do my show anymore. Periodically, I'll dive in there and see what he's got. He said something last night in his talking points memo that I almost wanted to go through the television and just and say, what the hell are you talking about? He made the claim that Donald Trump, by questioning the legitimacy of our election process, is unpatriotic. He didn't say it those words. He creatively said that it's not patriotic. Basically, he said that Donald is being unpatriotic by questioning whether or not there's a rigged election here. I could not agree less with this man. I think that the most patriotic thing that Donald Trump has done is question these elections. And I'll tell you why. Because what Donald Trump has done is he's been the bull in the china cabinet. No matter what he's been hitting, he's been doing it with the Republicans and the GOP. And I can tell you the dirty stuff that goes on back there. I've witnessed it firsthand. He has smoked out the press. We now see with all these WikiLeaks and everything else that Donald has been crying about forever has basically come to the surface as being true. These people collude. They do things that are not ethical. They have basically lost their way. He has pushed all of this to the front. That's what a patriot does. So we don't sit back. If we see that there's an injustice going on in the country, we bring it to the front. We bring it to the front no matter what it means that is going to happen to us personally, because we put country in front of everything else. So to me, what he has done in getting up there and maybe costing himself the election, because everybody, including yours truly, tells him, stop talking about that. Stop saying this. And yet he says, no, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop because this needs to be out there. Now, his critics will say the reason why he keeps talking about a rigged election is because he needs to have that go-to, if you will, in the event that he loses. Maybe so. But nonetheless, it's very patriotic that he stands up there and maybe throws himself under the bus for the good of the country. Because one thing that will happen, whether he wins or loses, we will forever know that no matter what the media says, they have their hand in a dirty bag somewhere. And I think what he has done is very patriotic. And I think Bill O'Reilly is 100% wrong. And he's wrong so many different times. And you know what? He grew up in the same town I did. And I know the kind of attitude and ego that he comes with. And it's like me saying to him that it's unpatriotic that he sells a book at the end of every damn show. It's his prerogative to do. It's not unpatriotic. But you know what? It's a little turn-offish. Does Trump say that to him? No, he doesn't say that to him. So you know what? To say that he's unpatriotic because he's bringing out a problem to the surface? There's reports I just put on my website today. 3 different instances of reports of voter fraud. There's one thing going on right now. You're going to see it's going to launch on our site in the next hour and a half. People are voting twice in 2 different states. I mean, this is crazy. Donald Trump is not supposed to bring this up. That's absolutely crazy. That's crazy for O'Reilly to say that. Now I want to move on to Megyn Kelly. Unless you have lived under a rock for the past 24 hours, a little less than that, you saw the exchange that she had last night with Newt Gingrich. First and foremost, let me say this. Fox used to be very good to me. Whenever I had a film, whenever I had something I thought was newsworthy, they always put me on. I have friends at Fox News. One of the anchors there, our family, have gone away on vacation together. But I have to tell you, what I saw last night with Megyn, and I like Megyn as a person off camera, that was disgusting. That was disgusting what she did last night. Disgusting. And as a former anchor, she had the ability to step off that ledge. First and foremost, okay? Think about the contradiction that's in this. She says that Donald Trump will not stop talking about the sexual harassment stuff. And yet she's the one who brought it up. The conversation she had last night with Newt Gingrich originally was about whether or not Donald Trump could actually win this election because he's down in the polls, which is BS to begin with, all right? But she was pressing it and pressing it and pressing it to the point of where she just wanted Newt Gingrich and before him, Governor Pence, to say, yeah, you know what, we lost. But they're not going to say that. They don't believe it. And she was pushing it and pushing it. And so when that didn't work, she went to the term sexual predator. Sexual predator is what she came up with. And so when Newt Gingrich pushes back on that, she's then going to make and change it. So this way it looks like Newt Gingrich is just some angry old white guy who wants to also put his hand on somebody's genitals. I mean, what she did there was, you just don't do that. I mean, I've interviewed people from CARE. Yeah, radical Muslims have been on my show, and I have treated them with respect. Even though I don't trust them one iota and I didn't agree with anything they said, I still treated them with incredible respect because they're coming onto my show, they're taking their time out, and you know what? I'm not going to bully them. I have the ability to bully them because I have the microphone. I have the power over them, and she knows that. She knows she has the power over Newt Gingrich. And she used it in a way that is unbecoming of a news anchor, especially a journalist. Because what she does is she always puts herself out there that she's not a pundit, that she's not a commentator like Sean Hannity or O'Reilly. She considers herself a journalist, but yet she didn't come across as a journalist last night. She came off as somebody that if you look deep, and maybe you don't even have to look that deep, she hates Donald Trump. She hates it. She pretended like she got past all that stuff that went between them in the beginning of the year, and she had him on for her 1 hour special that bombed. But she isn't past it. She isn't past it. And I like you, Megan. I like you a lot. If I saw you in the street and you needed something, you know I'd be the first guy there. But what you did last night was way beneath you. Now, the other stretch of the imagination of what she did last night, Megan doesn't want to be at Fox News. Megan wants to be Oprah. She wants to be the white Oprah. And you know what? Odds are she probably will be. But to get into that realm, to get into that business, you can't be on the right. And you certainly can't be for Donald Trump. So I think a little bit of what you saw last night was rubbing elbows with the people in Hollywood and rubbing elbows with the people at the main networks. Because, you know, ABC News every single night, they get 7 million viewers compared to the 2.5 she gets at Fox. So she moves up that ladder. She's going to a whole new Diane Sawyer level versus Megyn Kelly at Fox News. So that's what I think you saw a little bit last night. And let me tell you, she's smart enough to realize that that's what's happening. But here's my problem with that. Megyn Kelly makes about $10 million a year. It doesn't matter to her whether or not Hillary or Donald's the president, because so many of the different things that you and I, as middle class and everyday Americans, have to deal with, she doesn't have to deal with. She's sending her kids to private school. She's got the nannies going. She's got the chauffeurs going. You think she's pumping gas? I mean, please. So she has a responsibility to bring out the news. And the news is that Donald Trump is up 2 points in Florida. Yeah. Why aren't we bringing that up, Megan? Why aren't we bringing up the fact that I get more people at one of my speeches than the president, first female possible president is? I'm stumbling here because I'm losing it. And you want to know why I'm losing it? I'm losing it because the media doesn't do its job anymore. And I know these people. And I can't understand why they're not worried more about you and me and the people who tune in than their own freaking egos. Okay? It disturbs me when I see somebody like do that. Why didn't she get on there and talk about how it is that Donald is rising in the polls and that he's overcoming all this crap that has been thrown at him? She's smarter than that. And O'Reilly is smarter than that. And you know what? I'm probably burying myself that I'll never be on Fox News again. Ask me if I give a shit. I care more about my country and my children and the 7,000 people right now who are watching me that depend on me to give you the truth. And I'm always going to give you the truth. I'm always going to, because I want to be able to lay my head down at night and know that I did my small part in the world here. And in telling you, I'm telling you, those people at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock that I just talked about, they're for selling their freaking books. And they're, you know, when you're an anchor, and again, remember, I did this for 8 months, the #1 show on my network, hands down, okay? If Dennis said he wanted something, he got it. When I got my makeup done, the beautiful girl who did my makeup, you know what, Dennis, do you want some coffee? Do you want this? You want that? Anything I said, people jumped. I understand the power that comes with that position. I've been in O'Reilly's studio, okay? I've been with Megyn. I understand the amount of power that they pull. And I think why they don't give Trump the respect he deserves is because he's the one guy who won't go on there and kiss their ass. They won't. I've been guilty of it. I've asked Megyn, please, you know, can I come on? I got to film or whatever. And you sit there and you beg and you hope that they put you on, and they basically pull the strings on your life. That's really what it comes down to. And that's why when I had my own show, I always, if somebody wanted to come on the show, I always said yes. I mean, unless they were a complete moron, but I always said yes, because I know what it's like to be on their side. I know what it's like to try to beg, you know, can I get on? Can I get on? And so I would always give them the opportunity, and I would always let my guests speak. I would never talk over them, because I know what it's like to be on the other side. They are pulling a power plug here, and the reason why they're doing it is because Donald Trump doesn't need them. He doesn't need them. He's his own rating. You want he'll jump from Fox and go to CNN. He'll go to CNN and go to MSNBC. The people are going to follow him wherever he goes. He holds the power. And so a guy like O'Reilly and a person like Megyn, who see themselves on the magazine covers and see their books rock and roll more than anybody else and have all the power, everybody at Fox News kissing their ass. I've seen it. I've been there. I've been there. They don't like the fact that Donald Trump will come on and tell him, you know, tell O'Reilly, yeah, I think you need a psychiatrist. Or, yeah, you know, you're not the most fairest guy in the world. And, you know, and O'Reilly doesn't know everything. Here's the thing about O'Reilly. Ready? I got diarrhea of the mouth right now. Nobody knows the border like I know the border. And I'm not being cocky. I mean, anybody's watched my films. Nobody knows the borders like I know the borders, okay? I've put my life in jeopardy. I mean, O'Reilly never gets his ass out of his studio. Let's be honest, all right? I'm going down with my camera. I go down to the cartels. All these places are there. My heart coming through my chest to try to get the story to bring it back to you. This guy has the thing where he has with Dennis Miller, where they go around and they give a speech. It's an entertainment thing. And honestly, Dennis Miller holds the whole thing. Dennis Miller comes out for a half hour, talks, makes you laugh. Then O'Reilly comes out by himself, you know, tells you the same stuff he says on the show. Then they both come out and do answers and questions. I took my son to this thing in the Westbury Music Theater, where it was by my house, probably about 2 years ago. And I got the VIP tickets. And so we're sitting there in the VIP tickets, and O'Reilly's talking. He's talking about the border. And he says, listen, you know, the Tucson sector is pretty secure. Now, anybody who's in Arizona right now, and any of my friends in Tucson or anywhere near Tucson, down near Nogales or any of those places, you know how ridiculous that statement is. Tucson is anything but secure. And I'm listening to this guy say this stuff, and I'm like, what kind of information is he giving out to people? And you know what? And if O'Reilly ever fought on me, man, roll the tape. Roll the tape. Roll the tape. I will bet my life on it that that's what he said. And at the time, I think CBS, 60 Minutes, was there taping that show. If they played it back, you know what? I would bet all the money that I have in my wallet, all the money I have saved anywhere, that he said that. It's the most stupidest thing in the world. But this guy thinks that he knows everything. He doesn't know everything. Okay? He doesn't know everything, and neither does Megyn. You know and I know that Donald Trump's going to win this election. He is going to win this election. And if you go to DennisMichaelLynch.com and you search for 2016 maps, you know what I think is going to happen? And remember this, record this. We recording this? It's going to be 269 to 269. You think this election is just going to end on like a quiet note? No. It's going to be 269 to 269 in that electoral college. Yeah. And if it's 269 to 269, I don't know if any of you guys know this or not, but in order to win the Electoral College, here's a good lesson. Somebody asked me this yesterday on the site. Believe it or not, they didn't know what the Electoral College is and how it works, whatever. I'll give you the simplest thing in the world. Obviously, we have 50 states. How do you win the popular vote but still lose the presidency? Let's just pretend there was only 2 states. Let's say it was Florida with 29 electoral votes and Pennsylvania with 20 electoral votes. And let's say that Trump wins the popular vote in Florida. Actually, let's change that. Let's say that Hillary wins the vote in Florida. She gets more votes, right? But it's a tight one. She only gets it by like, I don't know, a couple of votes. And then you go to Pennsylvania and Trump wipes her off the effing map. He almost takes everybody. He gets 80% of the popular vote. If you take the votes he got in Florida and you take the votes in Pennsylvania, he could have 500,000 more votes than Hillary does. But he only got 20 electoral votes at 20. And she got 29 from Florida. So although she got less votes, she got more votes in the state that counts more. So she wins with 29 to 20. So that's a case of where Trump could actually win the popular vote and lose the election. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think states like New Hampshire, which only has 4 electoral votes, he will win that state. And you want to know why he'll win that state? Because New Hampshire is getting slaughtered with heroin. And he talks about that heroin all the time. And when you talk about building a wall is not going to stop the day laborers. That's a totally different video. But it will stop the drugs. It will start helping to stop the drugs. And that's what New Hampshire wants. He's going to take that state. And then the BS about him not getting Arizona, let me tell you something. He's going to get Arizona. And he's going to get Texas. These are all headlines that you're getting on there, so you tune in. You understand? Tune in. And he's going to take Florida, and he's going to run away with Florida. He's going to want to run away with it. And you're starting to see that go up. If you go back and rewind, look at the news from a week and a half ago. They had Florida blue. And now they're saying, oh, Bloomberg poll, he's up 2. Yeah, of course he's up 2. He's going to win Florida. Look at his rallies. You can't get into his rallies. You look at hers from yesterday. My God, I'm telling you, I have more speeches. When I say that I have a speech and I show up to a place, no advertising, I get more people than she does. She's going to win Florida? Where are these people coming out of? The woodwork? Forget it. He's got it. He's got it. So what do you have to do? I got to conclude this because I'm supposed to be out jogging right now. My wife thinks I'm out jogging. I'm on Facebook Live. Such an important election. Such an important election. Such an important election. If we don't win this election, if this woman, my battery's going to run dead. I'll end it on this. I'll be back again tomorrow. We're screwed. I don't know what else to say. There's no other way of saying it. I know this stuff, so you people who follow me for a long time know I'm an encyclopedia of this stuff. You know, one of the smartest guys I've ever met. You might not like him. He's got some dirt in his closet. Who doesn't? But Dick Morris may be one of the most intelligent people I've ever met when it comes to this sort of thing. You ask Dick Morris whether or not Donald Trump can win this election. He's going to tell you absolutely. You ask him what happens if Hillary Clinton becomes the next president of the United States. He's going to tell you he's panicked. He's known the Clintons for decades. He was their #1 person for decades. She will destroy this country. Our children will have... Obama has put us in such a spot to where it's like we might be able to get the pieces back with somebody like Trump who's going to get things done. We might be able to at least build it. So this way he hands it off to the next guy and he can finish off. If she's in there, we're done. We're done for the sake of we will never win another election our side. Ever. She will continue to stack the electorate in the sort of way. There's an article out today on my website, or maybe it hasn't launched yet. 270,000 births this year alone from illegal aliens. right? Is that what it is? It was 7%. 7% of all the births in this country this year have gone to illegal aliens. Those are 270,000 new voters. And these people will vote Democrat. That's the way it works. I'm not making this up. It's not a racist statement. You look over all the voter rolls, over all the years, and minorities always vote, by and large, for Democrats. That's why they do this. Don't you understand? They're loading up the electorate. So this way, it is a one-party system. So here's the challenge I have for you. Other than going to DennisMichaelLynch.com and signing that petition against the voter booth, that's how we started this whole thing, against the voting machines from Soros. Here's what you got to do. And it's not that hard. You got to find the one person in your life, whether it's at work, whether it's at business, maybe somebody in your family, maybe somebody you find on Facebook, and you got to bring them over. Maybe they're undecided. Maybe they don't talk about why they're voting for Hillary, but why they're not voting for Donald. And you don't criticize them for it, because remember, you catch more bees with honey than you do with tar paper, right? You talk to them nice. You let them speak. You don't criticize them for what their opinions are. And then you explain to them that if Hillary is the president, their wages will never go up. Their children won't be able to get jobs. Spanish will officially become the official language of this country. And you think I'm kidding? In Miami and Los Angeles, English is the secondary language. Did you know that? In Miami and Los Angeles, English is the secondary language. That's just not right. That's just not right. And then you always give them this. I used to say this in all my speeches. I've been saying this in my speeches for the past 7 years, and you can't argue it. And maybe you've heard it because a lot of people have copied it since I've been doing it. I've said it on television a gazillion times. When you get on an airplane, the first thing that the steward or stewardess, I would say stewardess, and then I'll be a male chauvinist, that the flight attendant says to you, first thing, in the event of emergency and the air masks fall down, put that on your face before you put it on the face of the person next to you. Now think about this as a parent. That actually goes against the grain, right? Because as a parent, what it should be instinctively is to save your child before you save yourself. But you can't save that child on that airplane if you can't breathe, if you're not healthy. You need to be healthy in order to help the people around you. That's the United States right now. We are on a nosedive. And President Barack Hussein Obama is giving the air mask to the Syrian refugees and to the people from Mexico and to the special interests and to the lobbyists and to the 1% in this country. And he's letting everybody else go ill. What Donald Trump will do is he'll put that face mask on America. He'll get America back breathing again, healthy again. And then what we can be when we're a healthy nation, that's when we can start helping everybody else around the world. We are the most charitable country in the world. We will give you our shirt off our backs, but we got to have a shirt to give you. And right now we're losing our shirt. And that's really all I have to say. I have to go home, or my wife is going to think that I'm out drinking. And that's not what I'm doing. I'm actually in a parking lot. You want to see the parking lot? Look. I'm all by myself. It looks crazy. But I come here because there's a cell tower right there, and I get all the bars, and nobody can tell me that I'm fading in and out. All right, I think I'm telling you too much stuff now. All right, DennisMichaelLynch.com. Go there. Click on the petition. And make sure you check out some of the other videos, man. We put up a video last night of Dearborn, Michigan. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. It's gone totally viral. And then now in the next hour, we have another one going up where I went to Islamberg. We have 22 Muslim enclaves throughout this country. Not that I have a problem with Muslims whatsoever, but I do have a problem with Muslim enclaves that tie back to a terrorist. You go to my website and you will see it up there. It will blow your mind. All right, until tomorrow, God bless you, God bless our troops, God bless America, and God bless Facebook Live. I mean, this thing is the coolest thing in the world. All right, See you guys later.